Hey guys, it's Kevin, and I've got an Aspire Nautilus Prime X to review today. So I'm really trying to clean off my desk at this point. I've got several more to go. I'm going to try and get the Nicotine stuff done either today or tomorrow, and then I've got more in the mail. All right. So anyway, you guys might be wondering, if you've been a subscriber to my channel for a long time, what I'm doing purchasing things like the Nautilus Prime X, right? Or I picked up the Ursa Pod kit, right, by Lost Vape. And I reviewed the Geek Vape Aegis Boost Pro. And you might be wondering and thinking like, oh, it's for Liz and she started vaping after the baby was born and all that. That's not the case. One thing that I think everybody needs to pay attention to is the fact that vaping laws are getting tightened and there is a mail ban that's coming out. And I've been systematically trying to pick up supplies just in case we get into a situation where it becomes extremely expensive to buy EJUICES, for example, or coils get difficult to find, right? And so that's where a device like the Nautilus Prime X really comes into play. It's super versatile, right? Just to kind of tell you a little bit about the specs. I've got this here. I ended up purchasing this from Clowmix a couple weeks ago, and I've been using it, and I do really like it, but I feel like I do have to give it an incomplete grade, and I'll explain to you why in a minute. But anyway, the Nautilus Prime X. Inside the box, this box, right? It comes with the device, a Nautilus Prime X pod, which you can see here, and they're actually very nicely marked, so you can tell which one is which right here. All right, it says the Nautilus Prime X, or the Nautilus Prime pod, and here we've got the BP pod marked. Okay, so very nicely marked in this case, right? And so it comes with the device, the two pods, two coils. One is going to be the BP mesh coil, which fits in the BP pod, which is 0.3 ohms. The other is going to be the Nautilus mesh coil, which is 0.7 ohms and fits in the Nautilus pod. And then it also comes with a Type-C cable and a user manual, like always, right? So first things first, I've seen a lot of posts on the Aspire Facebook group and other places where people are looking for ways to pull out rubber stoppers that are in these pods. If you're in the UK or you purchased a TPD version on accident, there are videos that you can find which will tell you how to get the little rubber stopper out. That's going to limit the juice capacity to be 2 milliliters, all right? Normally it's 4.5 milliliters. So these are both 4.5 milliliter capacity in these standard pods. And I just want to talk a little bit about the device itself, right? Very nice construction. You'll see I've got an 18650 battery in here, single 18650. Very nicely marked on the interior. Man, I've got to get a better camera, right? But on the inside, you'll see a plus. And then on the outside, I guess you could maybe call that a little negative, right? So you'll know to put the positive side to the positive side, the negative side to the negative side. And then you close the battery door. The battery door is really well constructed. Maybe has a little bit of wiggle room, but it doesn't feel like it's going to pop off on me or that it's going to get loose anytime soon. So that's really good. Comes with 2 different drip tips installed on either pod. And the drip tips are nice. I feel like maybe they're a little bit short, but with that said, I don't really have any other drip tips that are much, much longer. I don't know where it is. It's hiding. Oh, here it is. It's maybe a little bit bigger, or at least a little easier to use. Okay. But anyway, so it comes with two drip tips. They're both fine. They're both good. And ultimately, I just kind of want to talk about the aesthetics on it. I really like the black with the red gradient coming in here. At first, I wasn't a fan of the overall look of the Nautilus Prime, but it grew on me. I think that especially looking at it in certain profiles, right, make it a really sharp looking device. There's something retro about it. There's something, I don't know, just overall appealing. It grew on me. It really did. And from the perspective of a design professor, you know, that's a pretty good thing. All right. So talking about the Nautilus Prime X, what do I think is the best thing about it? It's the versatility. Now, you could say that this Lost Vape device is in the same class, at least price point, okay, as the Nautilus Prime X. Which one do I think is more value for the money? Well, I've got to say that the Lost Vape Ursa Quest is definitely more value for the money. It looks pretty nice aesthetically, but it's not really a matter of the aesthetics. It's the fact that it comes with more included pieces. It does come with a Pro Pod that has an adjustable airflow ring that fits onto your regular pod, which is somewhere. I don't know where it is. But anyway, so it comes with two different pods, two different coils. But the big thing that it comes with that the Nautilus Prime X does not in its standard iteration is this wonderful 510 connector. Now, I feel like if the Nautilus Prime X came with a 510 connector, it would be easily one of those situations where I feel like, okay, it's right up here with the Ursa Quest, but unfortunately it's something that it is missing. Now, you can purchase a 510 connector separately. Well, that takes it out of that price range, right? Just overall, I feel like I wish I had purchased the limited edition version of the Nautilus Prime X, because that comes with something silly like 6 coils. It comes with both the pods. It comes with an RDTA. I believe it may even come with the Nautilus PMP, or not Nautilus PMP, the Nautilus RBA as well. And it comes with a 510 connector. Pretty much anything that you could possibly want. It's like a Swiss Army knife, right? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to purchase those things separately. And I will be purchasing the RDTA because I like the way it looks. It looks like it's going to be a really good RDTA. The basic first impressions that I've seen of that RDTA have all been positive. And I'm also purchasing the Nautilus Prime RBA to go with it. So, and the 510 connector. But at the end of the day, it's going to cost me more than $100 that the limited edition costs. And I'll be missing out on the fact that it also comes with all those extra coils and it's got a nice box. And just overall, I wish I had known that it would be offered to the public and not just reviewers at the time or as samples. So with that said, I do definitely want to say that if you're going to purchase this, spend the extra money, get all the extra parts, because I think that if you do, you end up with, like I said, a Swiss Army knife type of deal. If anything happens with the vape mail ban, if any additional legislation comes out that makes it difficult to get coils, or if we even just need to keep our devices longer because less are getting to us, right? This is definitely going to be one of those things that you're going to want to pick up. Really. My Aspire speeder is still working after like 5 or 6 years. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now, Kevin, how does it vape? Really good. But anyway, I'm going to take this up to 35 watts. Recommended 30 to 40 watts, and it is beautifully displayed there what the recommended wattage is. So that's a really nice touch. And let's have a vape. It's the BP pod. Can't really mouth along that. So I'm going to open it up. Should have opened it up in the first place. And I'm going to swap out drip tips. Go of them. All right, here we go. Nice throat hit with 6 milligram nicotine in it. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a pretty good vape. If I were to compare it to something like the Geek Vape Aegis Boost Pro, here we go. This has airflow for days. It's more of a restricted direct lung hit, okay? This can just blow clouds all over the place, right? These Pro Pods and coils are extremely flavorful. I mean, they're on another level. So if you're looking for you know, the flavor that you might get out of something like this Boost Pro, you're not going to get it from Nautilus Prime X, okay? Or at least not with the included coils. I'd have to do more research on those. Therefore, again, like I said, it's going to have to be incomplete. But with that said, right, these coils last no time at all. I mean, you can blow through a Geek Vape coil in 2 to 3 days. This has been going on pretty much a week, around a week, somewhere around a week. All right, no indications that it's losing any flavor, no indications that it's going to leak. I mean, I don't want to say that this is a leak-proof design, but maybe it's a leak-proof design because there is nothing happening here in terms of any kind of, I mean, you can see like original fingerprints that I've had on this when I installed the coil. So very, very good job with that Aspire. Really, really good job. It's also really nice to feel this thing stay in. Very, very sturdy. In fact, one thing that I've heard people say is that it's difficult to pull these in and out. No, it's really not. I mean, you can get this out, I believe, with one hand. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Oh, yeah, you can. So, I mean, you can pull it. I did do a little extra fire on it when I did so. But it's really not that difficult to get out. But again, I haven't tried the RBA, or I haven't tried the RDTA, and I haven't tried the 510 connector. So I'd have to get back to you on that when I do. All right, and I'll do that with my first performance update, because I will update this and the performance. All right, I'm going to swap out to the Nautilus coil and the Nautilus pod. One thing that I can say that I maybe dislike a little bit is the fact that it almost feels like a bit of a puzzle piece to get this in. You've got to have this facing the fire button, all right? And then also initially, there's just a want to come over here for the fire button onto the front of it rather than to have your finger here. I don't know that I like the placement of the fire button. much more flavorful. This is the 0.7 Nautilus or Mesh coil, if I remember correctly. It says here the recommended wattage is 15 to 25 watts. I'm vaping it at 22 watts, and I'm getting a good amount of flavor. Nice restricted direct lung, but where it really shines for me is coming in, cutting this down to one little airflow hole. And that mouth to lung. Very nice, dense, smooth, warm vape. Okay. If I'm going to get into it, and I'm really going to get into it, I'm going to be posting this on the Aspire Facebook group as well. And I might get some, well, you can't thumbs down on Facebook, can you? I always give one person thumbs down in all my YouTube videos. But I'm not a huge fan of these coils, these included coils. You know, maybe it's being spoiled by, you know, things like this. But again, the longevity on it isn't that great. I mean, this is a 9.5, 10 of flavor, right? You know, I wasn't all that happy with the Lost Vape variety of when it came to flavors until I purchased some new coils. 1.6, probably a 0.2, I think, coil in here. Much more flavor with this as well. In fact, I mean, the thing is, like, I come here and I take something like the Vaping V through. That blows all of them away. All of them away. I mean, again, 9.5, 10 for flavor. I mean, the only one that it maybe doesn't beat out is the Geek Vape, but this coil is going to last me, this pod, rather, is going to last me for 2 weeks. 3 weeks, possibly longer. Same thing can be said with the Caliburn G. So ultimately, oh, and here's my Favo sticks. I was looking for it. I wasn't sure if it was there, but this is the 1 ohm Favo sticks at 13 watts. So good. So good. But overall, right? I mean, good flavor. Great flavor. That's just the difference, right? So I am very excited to get the RDTA. I'm really excited to get the RBA. I've got the RBA ordered. I haven't been able to find the RDTA in stock. So, but as soon as I do, it'll end up being attached to one of my orders, and I will get those in because I really like the device. The device is sturdy. The device seems extremely well made. I'd argue it is a high-end device in many ways. I love the size of this. For a single 18650, absolutely love the size. Love the just overall feel of the device. The only con, like I said, is that, you know, when you sell it in this individual pack, it's just incomplete, right? It should probably only be sold. And Aspire does have high-end devices that, you know, range in the $100 or more range, right? I think that you could keep the Nautilus Prime available as that lower priced entrance into the Nautilus Prime AIO series, right? And then you have the Nautilus Prime X in that limited edition as the ultimate version, right? So with that said, guys, I just wanted to give you my initial thoughts, my initial reactions to the Nautilus Prime. I call it initial just because I haven't had it too long. It's been about a week, maybe 5 days, somewhere around there. But I feel like I've gotten a decent amount of time in with it. I feel like I've been able to get a good feel for it. If I were to take one or the other, the Favo sticks or the Nautilus Prime X, right? When it comes to value, I take the Favo sticks. When it comes to flavor, I take the Favo sticks. When it comes to simplicity, I take the Favo sticks. When it comes to durability, sustainability, right? Like, just in case something happens. When it comes to the quality and the build, the battery life, the airflow, the wattage adjustment, everything else, right? I'm going to take this Nautilus Prime X. So hopefully I won't end up needing it, but hopefully once I get all the rest of the stuff, I'm going to end up wanting it more, right? All right, guys, that's my review of the Nautilus Prime X. Hope you have a good day. Please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, please let me know. Thanks.